nothing else. Tonight ain't the night, knowing the price. Pay it off with my life, till it's out with your lights. Do it all for the Christ, and he ain't playing nice. Knew the end from the start. Fix your face like it's art. The sons of a simp, call them Bart. Yeah, you did your best, played your part. But now it's time to cut you to the heart. Flex on occasion. It's the strangest of the salvation. You see it, believe it, amazing. Them chariots coming invasion since the creation. War, mine, Lord, bless the general. Greatest nation, eat them unequivocal. Bombs dropping, buddy, cause it's biblical. Start shit, now it's time to finish. Whoa. Said he won't whoa, we looking for smoke. So, we give them some more. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of ours. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world.
I can't wait for our kingdom to start and for there to be finished. Get rid of all of their idols and lying religions. Look for the crown like an Edris. Hey, this that crown talk. Wisdom of Solomon 5 talk. This that second Edris 6 and 9. We want eyes talk. It's your time to end. And my time again. It's our time to win. Away with the sin. You know what it is. Rejoice with my kin. See, that is why we repented. Golden streets, I can see myself in it. The city is bright. The kingdom of light. A wonderful sight past the angels, the inner light. I need 1,000 years of labor. Sit on my throne with my savior. Try to know wine, press alone. He bring pain like Major. You think the nations is equal to us? TK Kirkland, who raised you? Flex on occasion, my God a racist. That's why we moving with patience. It's been a long time coming. I spent my whole life running. Now that I'm 10 toes down and established my faith on 100. Woe to the nations, my king will race them. You know they gotta be punished. Jeremiah 25. Yeah, you know they gon' fry. Whoa. Said he won't vote, we looking for smoke. So, we give them some more. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of ours. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world.
Yo, yo, yo. Here we go.
Mic check.
Yo, mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Cap
1,
mic.
2.
There you go.
Mike.
I think it was on before you took. Hey. Yo, we here.
Yo.
Yes, sir.
Hey, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Hey, shalom, most high Christ bless y'all. We are back, the Nehemiah squad.
Yo.
For another week, we're going to reintroduce ourselves like we do every week. I'm Captain Zakai.
Hey, I'm Officer Shim.
Yes, sir. I'm Officer Judah.
Yes, yes. Today is the day. Yeah. Hit us with one of those horns again. All praises. Hey, throw that thumbnail back up there. Throw that thumbnail back up there. All right. So today's show is financial wake-up call. Habits that keep us in a struggle mode. All right. And what we're going to go over today is financial planning with our special guest, Angela Willis. But before we bring her out, all right, we're going to show y'all a
Your
couple of
thumbnail
things.
was speaking, bro.
Yeah, the thumbnail is moving, man. They doing a good job. Because I know I ain't say nothing. They had me walking and talking up in that piece.
It looked like his mouth was moving to what you were saying, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. They did a good job with that.
Yeah, good job.
All right.
Don't-
Play that first little video, that first short.
Let's go.
Come
Put
on,
it up
y'all.
there.
Y'all supposed to been had that lined up for us. I don't know. That don't look like it.
The reason why financial literacy is so taboo in Black culture is, in my opinion, due to embarrassment of what they don't know. So we weren't allowed to talk about finances at my dinner table. Not that it was a bad thing. My parents didn't know, so it made them ashamed, and they were ashamed, so they didn't want us to talk about it. But now we have our client events and we have our client dinners. Like, people are openly talking about their financial milestones, openly talking about their financial wins, because they're educated and there's no shame around not knowing about money. The reason why financial...
Right. So I just wanted to show that to talk about, like, you know, in terms of the Black, the brown community, A lot of times it's all about survival. We don't really know how to handle money, how to actually make the money work for us, so on and so forth, right? So that's what the brother was getting into, and that's what we're going to be getting into further tonight. But I want to show one more thing. Show that next one, number 2. And then we're going to read some.
There is no education that comes with money in the black communities. It doesn't. You can go search for it. There isn't one. It does not exist. There is no one that is outright teaching the kids in a black community how to operate financially.
Yeah,
Right.
Not even you.
Right, right, right. Not even him, right? Because he know that he personally don't have the tools to do that. And all of our brothers and sisters who do have the tools, they're not really being utilized in that way. Why? Because we don't have our own schools. We don't have our own teaching centers, right? Even in the after-school programs, we don't have that wherewithal to institute that. But that stuff is coming soon, all right? Hey, show number 7, that article real quick, and then we're gonna go to Angela, all right? Look at this article right here. It says, financial trauma is real. Why black people should consider financial therapy. Right? That's kind of interesting. All right, scroll down, y'all. Scroll down.
Come on.
All right, just
Are you
read
able
that
to
real
make
quick.
it bigger a little bit?
Make that a little bigger, y'all. All right.
Okay.
Read from where it says what is financial trauma.
What is financial trauma? While there is no standard definition, financial trauma can be described as any instance observed or experienced that has a negative impact on the way someone views, interacts with, or believes about money.
Right. Go ahead.
Most often, these instances associated with major losses in income or employment, homelessness, sustained financial stress due to poverty, and more.
Right. So those instances can do what? It can cause what was a new term that I'm hearing now, which is called financial trauma. But read that next paragraph.
Financial trauma can also be triggered by inaccurate financial guidance or advice, leading to the loss of savings or the over leveraging of debt.
Right. So that's what I want to key in on there for a second. It said inaccurate financial guidance, right? So that's what we're trying to remedy now, right? Like shows like tonight, we're trying to get what? The accurate financial guidance, right? Scroll down some more, y'all, and then we're going to bring the guest out. Scroll down. Scroll. Oh, whoa. There you go. Up. Scroll up. Yeah, I went too far. Stop right there. Financial trauma and variations. Go ahead.
Financial trauma and variations of the term like money trauma are increasing in popularity as the connection between how people think and feel about money and what they actually do with money becomes more mainstream. While this is an important step in painting the complete picture of what overall financial wellness looks like, it often falls short of acknowledging the historical and present-day impacts of racially motivated exclusion, exploitation, and abuse endured by black people as part of a greater generational trauma. The reaction to said trauma can be enough to discourage participating in financial systems that have impacts on the way black people think about.
The way black people think about. Scroll down, y'all. Scroll. Come on. Stay with us.
Retirement and estate planning.
Go ahead.
Investing.
Go ahead.
Home ownership. Responsible use of credit. Banking relationships, and more.
There you go. Right? So now what we want to do, we want to bring out, because that's what Angela's going to be talking about a little bit tonight, right? All of those bullet points. All right, so let us bring out our guest. Miss Angela Willis, where are you? Where is our guest? There she goes. Miss Angela. How you doing, sis? Hold on, we can't hear her. Somebody, there you go. Give the sister some applause.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I forgot to unmute.
You forgot to unmute. It's all good, sis. It's all good. It's good to meet you. Listen, the floor is yours. You know, show us where we going off. Because I like when I spoke to you last week, you were talking about the basics, right? Those are just the basics you were bringing out. And I think our people don't even have the basics on how to handle money. Like the article was saying, we're getting a little bit better. But please, Angela, come on out and give it to us. Give it to us straight.
Okay. Well, I'm going to shock you with the basic right now. Well, number one, the basic is that you need to have a plan.
Right.
Okay. And most of us, when we have a household, we don't even think about a plan. But if we were to start a business, the first thing that we would think about outside of getting the money, securing that we have the money to start the business, we would definitely start with a financial plan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't we run our home like we would run our business?
Right.
Okay. Now, the second would be, and this is unfortunately a lot of us in our community, we don't like to discuss this topic, and it is life insurance.
Mm.
Okay. Because although we have a financial plan and we're planning for the future, but what if we don't make it to the future?
Right. 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 We're a bit short-sighted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So what happened to our loved ones? What happened to the future plans for the kids sending them to college? What happens to the family, the wife and the kids, or whoever left, the spouse that you got the house, but now they can't keep the house because the other spouse partner's income is no longer there.
That's right.
So that's the basics. Number one is getting a plan.
Right. So teach us about this plan. How would you set it up? I come in, Miss Willis, listen, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm making X amount of dollars. How can I start to save now and make it work for me in the future?
Okay. Now I sent a slide.
Oh yeah, we got that for you.
Okay. Can you pull up the slide that says run your household like a business?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Run your household like a business, brothers.
Yes.
That's it. Bring that up, y'all. They brought me up.
Yeah.
They crazy as hell. Hey, do y'all have that? There you go.
Okay. Now that's the life insurance there, but it should be another one, a separate one.
Okay. It says run your household like a business.
Yes, run your
Brothers.
household like a business.
Take that down.
Oh man.
Come on, fellas.
Come on. It was like 3 slides you sent us, right? Yeah.
It was a separate attachment.
Separate attachment. Okay. Do you guys even see it? If you don't see it, then let us know. We can go get it. Is it in the PowerPoint? Angela?
No, it's not in the PowerPoint. It was a separate.
It's a separate one?
Yes, it was a separate one.
Okay. All right. So I think we have to pull that up. I don't think we saw that in the original attachment. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, go ahead. While we get it, go ahead.
Okay. So if you want to, we can go back to the slide and the one with the wife and the little kid with the insurance.
Hey, brothers, can y'all pull back up that slide, the one with the life insurance on it? There you go.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
income protection.
here,
Go ahead.
okay, sorry. So here you have a couple. Okay, as you can see, they both work.
Right.
They both bring in about $3,500 a month, and you see that they have some monthly bills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, mortgage, car insurance, credit cards, utilities, grocery, childcare. So you see their monthly bill totals about $7,000. So it's tight for this couple. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, massively tight.
Okay, now I don't know if you can click on it, but if you click on it, the husband should disappear. I know, I'm sorry. We always.
Oh, there you go. What? Hey, listen, sis. Why you got to get rid of the brother?
I'm sorry. We always kill off the man. I'm sorry about that. Okay.
That's not right.
All right, go ahead, Angela.
Okay, so now let's say, for instance, unfortunately, he was coming home, had a bad car accident. He didn't make it.
All right.
Outside of missing him dearly, what else would this family miss from him?
That $3,500.
That's $3,500. Now, if their monthly income or their bills coming, not the income, but if their monthly debt obligation is $7,000 a month, do you think this wife can take care of that by herself?
Oh no.
No.
Nope.
No, absolutely not.
No, it's too much. So what's going to happen with this family?
Yeah, they're about to break. They're about to lose whatever house they're holding. That's about to go. She's gonna have to sell it. They're in some trouble.
Exactly. So this goes into the next slide.
All right. The next slide, brothers.
What happens when you don't have life insurance? And this is one of the things that really it just burns me up, okay? I hate to jump on social media and there is a post where someone died and they asking for you to contribute to a GoFundMe.
Right. Right.
It just burns me up. It really does. And now they're not really asking for GoFundMe now, because what I understand is that GoFundMe charge them fees.
Oh, really?
Oh, I ain't know
I
that.
didn't even know that.
Yes.
GoFundMe said, pay me. Go fund me.
Right.
After
Yeah,
you
go
fund
go
me.
fund us.
Right.
Exactly. So this is the no life insurance will. So if you don't have life insurance, then family members can't afford to travel to your funeral. Families are forced to cremate your remains for financial reasons. No grief counseling for devastated family members. It's hard for the person to plan the funeral and still be stressed about money.
Right.
They really don't grieve.
Right.
Okay. Now, everybody grieve differently. You know, some people, they just put themselves straight back into work. Some people, it takes some time. But either way, if your job only give you 3 days of bereavement, and you need more time, what's going to happen?
Right. Yeah, you got to get back there. You're gonna be broken down. You're not gonna be in a good space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I got a question for you guys.
All right.
Okay. What is the only financial product that pays out immediately?
That pays out immediately. Oh, life insurance, I guess, right?
Life insurance.
Right.
Okay. And the reason why I put that out there, because most people say, well, you know, they had a 401k. Oh, well, they had money in the bank, but you really can't touch you. Well, technically, you're not supposed to, well, legally, you're not supposed to touch those products because they are in the deceased name. They have to be transferred over. They may have a will, they may have to go through probate.
Okay. Right. That's what you're saying. Yep. Yep.
So you're not really supposed to touch those right there until everything gets settled out. But life insurance is the only financial product that pays out immediately, and it bypasses probate.
You know, Miss Willis, you know, it's really funny. I'm saying funny not in that way, but you just bringing up about a funeral. And so last week, one of the sisters here, her dad passed away, and he handled his business so perfectly. Like it was amazing, right? So he had his funeral and everything set up exactly what was supposed to happen. Everything was paid for. Everything was laid out. I mean, he had it down to who was supposed to say what. I mean, it was totally so the family didn't have to worry about the money aspect of it. They just had to grieve. Like you just brought out, it was perfect what you just brought out because that's exactly what happened. So their mind didn't have to go into, man, start running around, hey, I need money from you. I need money from you. You know how it gets sometimes.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to worry about any of that. And
That's perfect.
And when you do that, you do a great service to your family.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because the sister was like, I mean, that took like the weight off of them, and they were able to just concentrate on this and you know, grieve. So that was great what you brought out. It was great. It's a real thing.
Yes. Yes. And that is the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
Okay. Now, I talk to a lot of people when it comes to life insurance, and there is a best kind of life insurance to buy. Okay. There's only 2 types of life insurances, and that is cash value and term insurance. Are you guys familiar with those 2 terms?
I'm familiar with term, cash value. I don't know, but even please explain it to us. Get us right.
It should be, if you bring up the next slide after this one.
Next slide, brothers.
Okay. So if you look here, there's only 2 types. It says cash value and term. Now, cash value is a category, but it's known as whole life, universal life, variable life, and the one that's very popular on social media, IUL, Index Universal Life.
Right.
Okay. And then you have the term. Now, the cash value is a type of life insurance that tells you that it builds cash over the years. And a lot of our people, well, not just our people, but everybody, they like that because they're thinking like, hey, I can get 2 things for the price of 1.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds great, right?
Right.
Okay, but let's look at it. You got John and Mary. John is covered for 150,000. Mary's covered for 150,000 too as well. They have no coverage on the kids. Total household coverage 300,000, and they paying $295 a month for it. Do you think that's a lot of money to pay for life insurance?
$295 a month. It's a bit of money.
Yeah, it's a bit of money. But if you are concerned about your family and you love your family, you probably say, hey, you know what? I want to make sure that my family have something after I leave, right?
Absolutely. Can I ask a question, Ms. Willis?
Go
So
ahead.
what is the cash value at age 65? What does that mean?
That means that when they turn age 65, they should have $124,000 in their account.
Okay.
Okay, that's what that means.
All right.
Okay. Now, they don't have any coverage on the kids because kids take income out the household. They don't bring income in the household. And so since it's tight for them, they say, hey, we're going to make sure we got coverage on the breadwinners. And as our income increases, we'll come back and put life insurance on the kids.
Right. Okay. It makes
Okay.
sense. All right.
But let's look at this. Let's say, for instance, I contact Mary and I say, Mary, let me ask you a question. If I give you more coverage for less, would you be open to that? She said, yes. So, okay, I sat down with her and her husband, and I was able to put $400,000 on both her and her husband, put $10,000 a piece on all their kids under age 18 for $126. Now, which one would you choose? The one on the left, the cash value, or would you switch over to term?
I mean, if it's just about you having life insurance and having your family get money, then I would take the term.
The term, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, go back to the slide, because some people say, well, you know what? I like the cash. But check this out. If you click on it, you're going to see what happens, okay?
Okay.
Now, with the whole life, you're going to pay life insurance for your whole life. So if they switch over to term, we just saved them $169
Right.
a month.
Right.
What do you think I'm going to suggest that they do with that $169?
Put it on some more life insurance.
No, click on it. I'm going to suggest that they invest that $169.
Okay.
So if they invest that $169, okay, go ahead and click to the next, click on it, should come up. If they invest it, click again, you're going to see that if they invest $169 a month at 9%, okay, till age 65, they have over $500,000 in that account.
Okay. So when you say invest, right, what would they be investing in?
Like mutual funds.
Okay. Got it.
Mhm. At 9%. Now, I didn't say 12. I didn't say 11%. I didn't say 10% because people don't believe you can get those type of returns in this type of economy.
Right.
But at 9% over 35 years, do you see how much money they'll accumulate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Now,
a
you
good look.
tell me which one is better,
Oh yeah, the term.
the term.
Yeah. Take a term all day. That's a good look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But people still, and another thing, I'm going to touch on that at on another slide. But go to the next slide, because I want to tell you the difference explain to you the difference between the cash value and the term. Okay.
Oh, yes,
Now,
ma'am.
if you look at plan A or plan B, tell me which one would you prefer to have? Plan A, let's say for instance, you deposit some money into this account. And within the first 2 to 5 years, you go to make a withdrawal and they tell you that your balance is a zero. Do you like that?
No.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, plan B, your money is accredited to you immediately.
Right.
You would choose plan B, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, plan A, they say, okay, now you got some cash savings in there. We're going to pay you between 1 to 4% rate of return on your money. That means your money is going to grow between 1 to 4% rate of return, or plan B, you can get 7% and up potential return on your money. Which one is better?
I mean,
B.
B sounds better. I just don't like the potential word. What that mean?
Yeah, I don't.
That sounds like something might not go right.
Yeah. That sound like if.
Right.
Nobody like that word if.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
conditional.
nobody like the word if, but yes, but,
Yeah.
but 7 beats 1 and 4 all day long. Would you agree?
100%.
Yes,
100%. Yep.
Okay. Now, this is another thing that people don't understand about when they get those type of cash value type policies, the whole life, the UIL, the IULs, okay, which is so popular. Okay.
Okay.
Check this out. You know that 124,000 that you asked me about? What was that?
Yes,
And I said, that's the cash value you build up.
that's
You
right.
get that when you're age 65.
That's right.
That's if you don't borrow. But guess what? You have to borrow that money.
Why?
Oh, borrow against it.
Yes.
Oh, so right, that 6 to 8. Okay, I see what you're saying. That 6 to 8% interest to borrow your own money.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Now,
not fun.
different
That's crazy.
insurance companies, their rates are different, but these 4 topics, bullet points are in all of them, okay? It just depends on which, but you have to borrow that money to get it out.
Mm.
Or would you prefer plan B? No fees or questions to withdraw your money.
Exactly. Give me plan B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, check this out.
Uh-oh.
Let's say, for instance, you never borrow. Because I have clients say, oh, I don't plan on borrowing the money. Okay, fine. You have a life insurance policy of $150,000. The cash value is $124,000. You never borrowed it. Let's say the person died at age 66.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, remember, I said the face value is $150,000. The cash value is $124,000. If the person dies, what's going to be the amount of check that the insurance company gives to the family or the beneficiary?
Wait, say that again? I think I missed
Okay.
it.
The face amount is $150,000. The death benefit is
okay,
$150,000. The cash value is $124,000. The person dies at age 66. They never borrowed from the policy.
Damn.
What is the amount of the check that would be mailed to the beneficiary?
What is it, 26,000? Are they going to give
They'll
you the
get the
difference?
150,000.
Oh, okay. I thought he was giving the difference or something because you wouldn't never touch it.
274,000, right?
Yeah.
No, 150,000.
Oh,
I like where he's going. You probably say, well, what happened to the 124,000, right?
Right.
The insurance company keeps the money.
Oh,
that's sick. And they keep the money. Why?
They
Because
had a
it's
structured
rules.
settlement.
It's their rules. It's their contract.
See what I'm saying? This is madness.
That's crazy.
See, what we fail to realize is that when we get the insurance policy, it's a contract. And a lot of times we don't read it.
Right.
Okay. But plan B, your family gets the cash if you die.
Right.
Okay. So most people would choose plan B because if they knew how plan A worked, if they knew that it was a typical whole life insurance policy,
Right.
they wouldn't buy it.
Right. So you're saying a lot of times that the whole life is not really fully explained to the customer? Because
No,
I think
it's not.
you see what I'm saying? That's crazy.
No, it's not. But one thing they do know, because I have a lot of I have people that's interested in life insurance, and one of the first things they tell me is that I want to be able to borrow from my policy. So they do understand that they're borrowing from their policy.
Right. But they probably don't know that they have an option of not having to borrow. You know, I don't think they understand the plan B. You know, what you're calling plan B right now, they probably don't understand that or haven't heard of it.
Yep.
Well, plan B is buy term insurance and
Right.
invest in mutual funds.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But one reason why they don't gravitate to term insurance is because term insurance is insurance. How can I say? The term means the time period. So you can buy term insurance for, let's say, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 25 years, 30 years, 35 years. And what that means is that your premium is guaranteed to stay the same for that length of time. Okay.
Okay.
So that means that you're buying insurance. The best way I can put it is you buy insurance wholesale instead of retail.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
You got it?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But most people are known for the whole life because they're thinking that, hey, I'm getting 2 for 1, 2 for the price of 1, right?
Right. Yep.
But what they fail to realize that you paying for 2 things, but you're only going to get 1.
Man.
Yep. Fine print say that 124 come to me.
Right.
Yes, they keep it. Okay.
Robbed you.
Now, I don't want to get into the really nitty gritty of life insurance, but there is another plan where you get part of the cash value, But most agents don't sell that because the premium will go up higher. It costs the premium to go up higher.
Right. Right.
Okay. And I have ran into clients that had that plan. And I say, let me ask you a question. Did you know the life insurance? How well do you know the life insurance agent? And normally it's a personal friend, a family member, because they're going to sell the best plan to the people that they love.
That's right.
Okay. But they're still paying a higher premium and they still don't know how that policy works.
It's crazy. You know, because what happens is that once we start hearing all these numbers flying around, percentages, so on and so, everybody just goes to sleep. They're like, hey, listen, how much I pay in a month, and how much coming to me and my family when I'm dead. You know what I mean? And what can I borrow? That's the good stuff, right? That they know that they can actually take some money, so that makes them happy.
Right.
And then my family's gonna get X. So they're not reading anything. They sign in, and you know what I mean? The brother actually who was doing some of the reading, he was doing some life insurance sales. They had to get him out of there. He was trying to sell all the highest.
You say he was trying to sell what?
He was trying to sell all the highest premium policies that he could find. They got him up out of there. Now he's doing something else now.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Matthias.
Okay. Well, I try to sell the highest premiums too. You know, when I sit down with the husband and wife, I said, let's put $1 million on your husband. The husband like, hold on, wait a minute.
Come on, Miss Willis, you trying to get people killed?
Right.
Yeah.
You said that brother said, why you trying to mess up a happy home, Angela?
He said, what you talking about, Miss Willis?
Yeah, but the one reason why I do that, because typically the man is the breadwinner. Okay.
Right.
Most cases, the man is the breadwinner. Okay. And for what I run into, women, we're more security conscious.
Right.
Men are like, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. If I have to dig a ditch, cut grass, I'm gonna do whatever I do to survive.
Right.
Women, we're more so like, no, I'm not doing all that.
Right.
Just get this life insurance. So if something happens to you, me and the kids will be okay.
Mm-hmm. That's
Okay.
right.
And then another thing too, women, well, I think I brought this to your attention.
Oh yeah.
That if you notice in your past, let's say your grandmother, your auntie, or someone died and they had life insurance and maybe granddad and uncle left her nice, did she get married right away?
No. Right, I see what you're saying. Right. Because she's secure, like you said. She don't have to run out and get that brother to secure her and make sure a roof stay over her head, so to speak. And we know we know most women, they work and they can take care of themselves, but there is an extra layer of security when you got another income coming in there, you know?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because we have the kids. Okay.
Right.
So that's why I try to put more coverage on the husband, simply because he is the breadwinner. And then when a person dies, you just don't realize. I mean, I've had clients that pass away and they're just they're like in a how can I say, a zombie-like state.
Right.
They're just
Right.
really zombie-like state. And they're not really thinking about anything. So to come in and say, hey, you know what, you got this check. Let me help you come up with a plan. And you can just feel that relief that just come over them.
Yeah. You know, I just want to read something real quick.
Okay.
We're going to read some out of scripture real quick. Let me get Ecclesiastes 7 and 12, because what you're saying is that security, a defense. And the Bible talks about that money being a defense.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead, read that real quick, bro.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 12.
Come on.
For wisdom is a defense.
Right. Wisdom is a defense, meaning what? You know the scriptures. You got that wisdom of the knowledge from God. That's a defense. Come on.
And money is a defense.
And money is a defense, right? Because like you said, once you set that up, that security, that goes to your family. Now, guess what? Now, you know you gone already, so your wife, you don't know your wife going to get remarried, but that's going to at least keep her from maybe marrying the wrong type of individual, right, or just doing anything to keep herself secure. So that money is a defense. Go ahead, just read the rest.
But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
Right, and the wise thing to do is set up a life insurance policy, set up things that's going to keep your family right, you know? But go ahead, sis.
Yes. So I push that. And then sometimes for the men, I say, well, let's put a certain amount of money coverage on your wife. And they're like, oh, she doesn't need that much. Just put like 50,000 on her, maybe 100,000. And then I asked them, I said, okay, well, you working double shifts or you driving trucks. if something were to happen to your wife, you can't work double shifts. You got to get out that truck and come home and make sure these kids are taken care of, or you got to hire somebody to look over the kids, take care of them.
Right.
So we might as well put some coverage on your wife too, because it goes both ways.
Man.
We may not put as much on her as you, but you're going to need some money to be able to rebound, because you're going to come off the road, can't work the second shift, or cut one of those shifts off, because you got to be there for the kids.
That's right. That's right. You had something you want to say? No. Okay. I'm sorry. So you had mentioned something when we spoke, and you were talking about a young men.
Oh.
And I said, please bring that out. That was an important point you brought out. Please tell the people.
Okay. When I first started in the business, I would approach young men, single men, and I'm going to say 30 and under. Okay. Oh my goodness. They would give me such a runaround. Oh, such a runaround.
Right.
They would say, well, my mama have life insurance on me. My baby mama got life insurance on me. And I would follow up with them. And I just could never get them to get life insurance. So when I run into a young man, single, under 30, I probably follow him about 3 times. And I was like, okay, that's it. I'm done. Somebody else can get him as a client. I'm just,
right.
I know that's sad.
No, and I was telling you, because as a young man, you looking at every dollar as something that you can chill with. You know what I mean? Like, you need a car, you need more clothes. You got a job and you got some insurance at the job. You're like, I got to spend more money? Like, it just don't compute as a young man, you know? And that's part of the reasons why we have to catch our kids young and teach them these things. Because this seems optional, but actually it's not an optional thing. It should never be optional. Yes. You know, this should be something that's instituted from by the time we start to really work and really our career job or even not a career job, but whatever the case may be, it should be that we have a community set up to be like, all right, here is the policy. Sign here. This is what you're paying per month. This is what it is. It shouldn't even be up to anybody, to be honest with you. That's how serious this thing is.
Right.
You know? Go ahead, bro. You gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Car
Man.
insurance, like they made car insurance
absolutely
mandatory.
Right.
You could do that on your body.
Right.
And remember, I always like to see when our guests talk, it always go back to scriptures, right? So I want to get Sirach 36 and 16. Watch this. And this thing, like we're saying, us being young, we're not thinking about life insurance. We're not even thinking about dying.
Right.
And then when I hear anything about life insurance, I'm looking on Dateline, and a woman is killing the husband for the instant payout. That's the only thing that's gonna pay out right now. She done had 2 or 3 husbands. Took life insurance. So it's like in our mind, it's like a negative thing, especially for a man. So but look what the Bible says. Watch this.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 36 and verse 16. Reward them that wait for thee.
38.
Verse 38
and 16. My bad.
Sorry. Chapter 38 and verse 16. My son, let tears fall down over the dead, and begin to lament as if thou hast suffered great harm thyself.
Right, so we're supposed to be sad when someone dies, a loved one dies. Read on.
And then cover his body according to the custom, and neglect not his burial.
And do what?
Neglect not his burial.
So we're not supposed to neglect that burial part. So the thing, like you said, that was important is if you don't have a life insurance, you're probably going to get cremated. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this is not part of our custom. So if when you think of our forefathers, we all had burial plots where all of our fathers slept in the
all
same
family.
You know what I'm saying? But now it's like we scattered out because we're not thinking. We don't have communities. You know what I'm saying? Where everything is common. We don't even have a common burial place.
Right.
Common burial plans. Like if we all die, where are we gonna go?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I might be in a different place than my daughter or a different place than my wife because we don't have that planned out. So that's why I like you saying when you first started is have a plan.
Right. And like the little video we were watching, it seems like our people, we're afraid to discuss these kind of things.
Yeah.
You know, I don't, you know, that started from us just going in survival mode all the time. You know, whatever money we get, we just trying to survive. But we supposed to be past that by now. You know, and certain things are supposed to be made mandatory. And I think this is one of the things that we have to put into our kids' curriculum
Right.
where they know already, like, okay, we're going to be investing. Like, even if, like, now we got crypto, you got all these different type of things. Even credit, we're supposed to be teaching these kids from by the time they're in the 4th grade. To me, they're supposed to be learning all of that. So by the time they get into a certain area, life insurance is not this boogeyman thing.
Yeah.
You know, like our officer was bringing out. Most times you hear about life insurance, it's connected to the wife killed the husband.
Yeah,
the
man.
husband
Negative.
killed the wife.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a joke with you earlier, Angela. Like, after you sell these policies, do you tell them you cannot kill your spouse? Like, you gotta let them know.
For
You
real.
will be suspect number 1.
Exactly. The insurance will not pay out through foul play. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Well,
real.
most men bring that up, so I have to tell them that the insurance company will do their investigation, and they find out that it was foul play on the spouse. The spouse.
She gets nothing.
You don't get paid. Yeah, that's
I
what
want an
happens.
autopsy. What was in that oatmeal?
Bro, when
When
life insurance was first brought up to me, I'm like, what you got up your sleeves?
Right, yeah. Raise your eyebrows. Like, hey.
You got to do like the like the casino workers, like nothing under my
Hey,
sleeves.
Can a husband get a life insurance policy without the wife knowing?
Yeah, right.
Is that possible?
Okay, legally, no.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the reason why I say that, and I'm gonna say it, the agent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because when people come to me and they say, "Hey, can I get life insurance on my child's, my baby daddy?" So I'm like, "Sure." I said, "But I need to speak with them because you're not supposed to write life insurance on someone that they're supposed to know."
Yeah.
See that?
Number one, because
see
you
it
got to
coming.
ask them the medical questions, and they
Right.
need to sign.
But what
Okay.
if it's you getting it on yourself? You got to
If-
tell your spouse.
No, you don't have to tell your spouse.
That's what
Oh,
he
yeah,
asked.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's
that's
Right.
what
That,
he asked.
see, to me, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because now nobody know nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
You die, all of a sudden somebody knock on the door and be like, "Oh yeah, your husband left you $1 million," right? Other than that, that might make your wife go off. She might just
Yeah.
decide, "I'm a murderer." But go
Okay.
ahead, sis.
I'm gonna tell you a story, but then don't let me forget about talking about the life insurance on the job.
All right.
Okay.
I used to work out, go to LA Fitness, and one of the GMs was there, and I used to always joke with him about, "Hey, you need life insurance. You need life insurance." And so he finally sat down with me, and he got the life insurance. Okay.
Right.
Now think about maybe 2 years or so. I forgot how many years he passed away.
Mm.
A freak accident. He was at the Atlanta airport, and one of those little buses that come in and take people to the airport, the little shuttle bus.
Shuttle
Right.
bus. Yeah.
Okay, drove up on the curve, hit the lamp pole, and it fell and killed him.
Damn.
Wow.
Okay. Now, when that happened, unfortunately, when he got the called my office, and I was at home on maternity leave. And my regional vice president called me up and she said, "Hey, do you know this person?" I'm like, "No," because she gave me his government name, and I used to call him a different name. Then finally it hit me. And she said something to me. She said, "Well, the wife is calling in and she's talking about this investment account that you set up for them." And she said, "This is not going to be enough to take care of what's needed." And she said, and this is what she said to me. She said, "Angela, I hope you did the right thing." And I was like, "Oh my God.
Damn.
I hope I did too."
Right.
So later on, I remember who he was, and I called back, and I said, "Oh, I did write a life insurance policy on him." And so she called the wife. The wife didn't even know it.
Right.
And when she called the wife, she said she heard a breath of a sigh, that she was relieved. Like,
Yeah.
so yes,
Yeah.
you can get life insurance on yourself without letting your spouse know, but you need to let somebody know that you got
okay.
life insurance. So if you die, they'll know to call in. They'll know to
That makes
report it.
sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
somebody got to know to report it.
Yeah. We got to start trusting each other again.
Yeah.
What a marriage is for.
Because she didn't even know. She didn't know.
Right.
She didn't know at all.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we talked about something. You were discussing things like compound interest.
Yes,
Rule
yes. I'm gonna do that on
72.
the next slide.
Okay.
But
okay.
I do want to talk about this job insurance. 'Cause
Okay.
I get
Please
this a lot,
go ahead.
especially from our people. I got life insurance on my job.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so this is the question. I asked them, who do you want to be in control?
Of the life
You or your
insurance.
job?
Me.
Oh, me. Yeah.
Okay, so if you got life insurance on your job, you're not in control. Because how many people have ever read their job policy?
Oh yeah,
Man,
I
everybody
signed the
skips
paper
it.
to get
They
yeah.
just
Everybody
sign it.
just signs.
Yeah, I want
They
the
skip
job.
down to the
Yeah.
bottom, click
ready.
the I agree all box,
Exactly.
and then sign.
Right.
They
You
don't
don't
read
even
that.
know
When
what's
do
in
I
it,
start?
right? You don't know what's in it.
That's right.
Right.
That's
We
right.
never read it. And there's something that's called the active work clause.
Mm.
If they have this in the policy, what it means is that if you die and you're not on their clock, it won't pay.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Damn.
You can Google that.
Wait a minute.
You
But
gotta
how
die
would you
at work.
know if you never read the job policy?
Wait a minute. So the job policy, you have to be dying. You have to die at the job.
on the clock?
You
You
need
gotta
to be on the
die
clock.
on the clock?
But it depends now if they have
the
that
hell?
clause in it.
Okay.
Damn.
That's
Okay.
insane.
Have
can
you ever
clock
wondered
out.
why when police officers and firemen, when they die, they always collecting for them? You like, don't they have job insurance policy?
They
Really?
clocked out.
Yes.
Well, they
Damn.
got that in their policies. So a lot of them die and they're not on the clock. So it's not gonna pay.
Damn.
That's crazy.
But that's a scam, though.
yeah.
pay
You
all
stealing.
that money all that time.
Yeah. Wow. That's
Where
okay.
does that money
So,
go back to?
but that goes into something because last week when I was speaking to you, Angela, I talked about that, like where you think you have life insurance through your job. That's why you don't want to buy any additional life. It just feels like you're spending that $126 a month. It looks like you're just throwing it away because I got something at work from through the job. Meanwhile, I ain't know I got to die at lunch.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't die at lunch.
Yeah.
You off the clock.
Oh yeah, I can't even die at lunch.
But remember now, if it has that in the policy,
Right.
but if you don't read it, you don't know it's there.
Right.
And you got to think about like this: companies are trying to cut costs, so they may be
yes.
dealing with insurance company ABC when you got hired, and then they switched over to XYZ.
Right. 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 Right.
And I've had where people have died during, in the interim of the switch, and the job insurance didn't pay.
Damn. This is
So
is
then I
insane.
always ask myself, do most people like their jobs? No. Do you think your employer take care of you 100%? So what make you think they're gonna take care of your family?
For real.
Right. Oh man. Wow.
Yes.
Depressed.
So,
Okay.
and a little personal with me is when I was 25 years old, I was pregnant, 4 months pregnant. I got fired. 4 months pregnant. Okay.
Yeah,
That went
crazy.
my health insurance.
Right.
So I can go to the doctor. That went my life. So that went everything.
Right.
And I vowed, I said, when I got back into corporate America, and I wasn't even in the business. I didn't know anything about life insurance, investments, or anything. I said, when I get back into corporate America, I'm going to get what they offer me for free. And anything else, I'm going to buy on my own so I can control it. I will never be in this position again.
Right. Wow. Okay. You shedding light on a lot of things because I had no clue of that. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. People die every day and they work, right?
Right.
Why they setting up GoFundMe's? Are they supposed to be getting life insurance on their job?
Right.
I don't know. That's just something I think about.
Yeah. I thought they were just doing GoFundMe because they tried to get us a little extra bread.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It could be. It
Yeah.
could be. No, it could be. But then a lot of times they don't have life insurance.
Right. Well, we're gonna read something real quick. Give me y'all Proverbs 13 and 22. Watch this, sis. You need to put this in your insurance booklet right here in this first little
I
part
do
right here.
have it on one of my commercials. I did use this scripture.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. You want it, sis. All right, all praises. That's beautiful. Go ahead, read that thing.
Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children.
Right. So sometimes we know people doing good business. Sometimes they doing investments and stuff like that, and they have that. But maybe a good life insurance policy could be a nice inheritance, right? Not only pay off funeral costs and all of that, burial, but also have a little something extra to do something with, right? Go ahead.
and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just.
That's just saying that sinner's money that's gonna wind up going to the just. Somehow when they die, their money gonna just float away and get to the just, right? But we just wanted that first part. But it's good that you know that scripture says that's good for business.
Yes, I did put it down.
That's
And
good for
who?
business.
Anybody on the panel that's a young man, like 30 and under?
30 and no.
Okay.
Well, the brother who was reading, the brother who read the Bible, he's 30 and under. He's under 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of my colleagues told me this when he was in college, and he said that he went home with one of the other races, happened to be a white guy,
Right.
and he went home with them during the holiday, and he found out that they encouraged their kids to get. And I'm pretty sure if he was in college, he was under 20, maybe under 25.
Right.
Encourage them to get like $1 million policy on them. Because at that age, if you get term insurance, it's probably like maybe $69.
Right.
Because they're saying they don't want that child to die. But
Right.
if the child happens to die,
Right.
think about it. That's $1 million going back into the family. You think what they can do with that?
That's right. That's right.
And that's how they think.
Exactly. And they ain't worried about nobody's feelings. Because right now, if we do that to one, everybody gonna be like, "Oh man, he ain't right. Put $1 million on his child's head." You know what I mean? But these are the things we gotta learn.
Yep.
We gotta learn. And like you said, our people. First off, that'll be like a taboo thing. Our people will be like, "Well, if we put in that means something gonna happen."
Yeah.
Right? We gonna be on that. But then we'll start. The second part is $69 a month. That's $690. That's $800 something a year. You put that over the course of 10 years, that's $10,000. I could have bought me a new car. Like, our mind is crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's $1 million?
Yeah, exactly. But our mind is crazy. But these are the things I'm talking about. We somehow got to get this into a curriculum for our kids, because we're guilty of it too. We don't think of these things. It was never taught to us, and we, like you said, we rely on a job. We rely on even you as the agent. You happen to come and you're breaking it down for us very nicely, But what agent has really got time to do that? The agent is looking to push this product, right, to make money, to get the commission. I'm not blaming any agent, you know what I mean? I'm not, because I know how it is. It's sales, right? But in order to really get the people's mind right, something like this is what they're going to have to sit down and do. And I think the more time they get to realize the greatness and let's say the term, they'll say, okay, this is really going to work for me and my family. People have to get to that point, but the struggle is real. So we're always trying to figure out where we can get some more money. So let's do the, what's the other one? Not term, the whole life. So we could take out some money against it and borrow. All right, go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
The borrower got me. I was like, why do you want to borrow your own money? I don't understand.
Right. But we got used to that from the 401k. We think it's okay because a lot of brothers and sisters have bought their houses off of 401k, right? They work for a while, snatch out like 30, 40 grand, put it down, and then struggle to pay that back while you knock off your mortgage and so on and so forth.
I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
Because your 401k,
Right.
okay, you know that your employer and you contribute towards it.
Right.
Okay. When do you get access to your 401k?
55.
I think 65.
Yeah, but typically if you leave your employer,
Right.
you can roll it over, right?
Yes.
Okay. So one reason why you have to pay the money back, because technically it's not your asset, it's the employer's asset.
Right. That's true. They're the ones actually setting everything up.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just paying into it. It
Mhm.
seems like it's yours.
Yes.
Yeah,
When
it
you
seems like it's
leave.
yours, but it's not really yours.
Yes.
Right.
It's their asset.
Right.
It's yours when you leave them, when you're no longer an employee.
Right.
And typically you got to wait about 30 days, between 30 to 60 days before they release you and everything, before you can get the money and get it to roll over.
Right.
Yes. So those are two separate products. But we're just so used to borrowing. We're so comfortable with borrowing. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. Oh man. You had something, bro? Okay, go ahead, sis. I'm sorry. I thought the brother was gonna say
Yeah,
something.
just some good
Okay.
music.
So
right
if
here,
you want to talk about how money works, let's go to
Yes.
the next slide afterwards.
Okay. The next
It
slide,
should
brothers,
say-
please. Oh yeah, here we go.
Okay. So when you ask me about what can you put your money in, okay, you can put your money in a lot of things, but let's just keep it simple. You can put your money in mutual funds, okay?
All right.
So with the whole life, I do like the concept. I do like the forced savings because we do need to save. I just don't like the rules on how to get my money out. Okay. So a lot of our people don't understand that there's a difference between interest and rate of return. Okay. Interest is when you lend your money to the financial institutions for like CDs or saving bonds. Okay. And they say, hey, for the use of this money, we're going to pay you an interest. And it's typically fixed. So no matter what they make off of it, let's say, for instance, they say, I'm going to pay you 3%. But they do what they do and invest your money, loan it out, or whatever. And let's say they're going to get that 12%. Okay. Well, the agreement is I'm going to give you 3%. So they're going to give you the 3% and then they keep the earnings. They keep the difference.
That's crazy.
Come on.
Okay.
Black mass.
Getting whooped.
Pull the black mass out.
Right.
Put the money in the bag.
And
That's
this is,
it.
This is the financial literacy stuff we don't know about. We are not educated about this stuff in middle school, high school. You know, we learn all this stuff when it's too late.
Right.
You know, a lot of us learn about credit when it's already shot. You know,
Right.
you don't
Right.
have any. No credit is bad credit.
Right.
When I first heard that, I was like, how could that be? I just
believe
didn't
it.
understand the concept.
Yep.
You know, but like you said, we're very used to borrowing. I want to go to Proverbs 22:7. Proverbs 22:7. We are used to borrowing, and it's the way the system is set up. It's set up like that for them to have fine print things we don't know about, right? So watch this.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender.
Right.
Right.
So the borrower is always a slave to the lender. So that's how they keep us in servitude like that.
Right.
Right. So we borrowing against our own money, which is cool. And it may benefit us if we do it right. Like we pull a little bit out of the 401k, get the house, so on and so forth. But like you said, when they promise us the 3% and they're making 12 off of it, they're winning. They're winning. And we are never actually free when we borrowing and not self-sufficient ourselves.
Right.
Exactly. But when you look at the mutual fund, because I have clients that they're afraid of the market, okay? But if you look at the mutual fund can make money 3 different ways. It can make money off of dividends, okay? And that's the profit that the companies earn, that they share with the shareholders or the investors. And then you have capital gains. And I'm just doing this, making this up, just something, keeping it real simple.
Right.
So let's just say, for instance, if they buy a company, share price is $20 and they sell and the share price is $60. They just earned some money. Okay. So they share that with the shareholders. And then you have appreciation of shares held. That means they're not doing any buying and selling, they're holding it. But over time, the value of those shares are increasing. Just like your home, hopefully you want your home value to increase over the years.
Right.
So mutual fund can make money 3 different ways. Whereas if you put your money in the bank earning interest, you only make money one way and it's fixed. Okay. And if you bring up the next slide, I'll give you an example. This should be the rule of 72. Any of you guys heard of the rule of 72?
No, I never heard of it until you mentioned it last week, and I had to look it up.
To me, what you talk about, Miss Willis?
Okay. Now, don't forget this rule, okay? This is a money rule. Teach it to your kids, okay? It's a given. I know sometimes you have some brainiacs want to figure out how it works, come up with the formula. It's just a given. Just take it as it is. But what it says is that the interest rate, it doesn't matter what interest rate that you're going to get. If you're going to get a 3%, 6% or 12%, okay? I don't know. Can you click on the screen for a second? You get the double off of it. Let's see. Okay, it went to the next one. Okay, go back to the previous then. Okay. So if you're getting 3%, whatever that interest rate is, you take that number and divide it into 72. And it's going to tell you how long it's going to take your money to double.
Mm.
So let's say, for instance, you go to the bank, personal bank, and they come in, you say, hey, I got some extra money. I want to invest it. They say, guess what, Captain Zakar, I got a product for you. Guarantee you're going to make 3% every year. You're not going to lose any money. And most people say, hey, that sounds great, right?
Exactly.
Now, after you leave, you remember the rule of 72. You say, hold on, what did sister say? Let me see. You say, no, 72 divided 3, that's 24. It's going to take 24 years for your $2,000 to double to $4,000.
Yo, come on, man.
Man, I could have bought a car and sold
Give
it.
me my money. I needs my money.
Oh,
you-
man.
20.
What kind of interest is that?
That's terrible.
That's very
That's
uninteresting.
robbery.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to wait that long for your money to double?
Absolutely
way.
not.
No.
Okay. Now, if you're getting 6%, same thing, 72 divided 6, the answer is 12. So it's going to take 12 years for your money to double, a lot faster. But if you're getting 12%, 72 divided 12 is 6. So that means your money is doubling for you faster.
Right.
Not a lot, though. You said a lot faster. That's still slow.
Well, it's still slow, but it's faster than 3%.
Yes,
You get
indeed.
3%.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So let's just say, for instance, if you're doing this for the long run and you open up the account and you forgot about it, and one day you was cleaning out your closet, and let's say 48 years have gone by, tell me which balance would you prefer to have?
That big one.
Yeah. That green one is kind of nice.
green one.
Yeah, over $500,000, right?
Oh yeah.
Now, I asked my daughters this, and nobody like to play games with me. I don't care if it's Uno. I'm reading the instructions. You know, my family hate playing games with me, okay? But how do you win a game if you don't know the rules?
Right.
Right. Yep.
You can't win, right?
They try
And
to
I
make
think
their
one of you
own
said-
rules up.
Shouldn't we have learned this in school?
Absolutely.
Yes,
That's
yes.
the point. That's the point. And this is not a hard concept for kids to learn. You know
It's
what I
not.
mean? I think geometry and all that is harder than this.
Yeah.
But yet they won't teach them this because they got to keep them destroyed.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, if you take the rule of 72, go to the next slide, and you combine it with the power of compound interest, okay? Let's say if you got $200 a month, and you're saving for 35 years. Let's say you're 35, and you stop saving at age 65,
Right.
okay? Now, where do most people keep their money when it comes to savings?
The bank.
Bank.
Yep.
In a bank, right? I'm glad you guys said a bank, because now I get the response at home in my shoebox underneath my mattress,
Oh yeah.
because people not trusting banks. But whether you put it in the bank or your mattress, okay, guess what? You're getting 0% interest. So after 35 years, you only got $84,000. Now, if you're getting 3%, you know, you can click it, see how
Click
much
the
you're going to
slide.
get.
Click the slide.
Click that, brothers. There you go.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You're going to have 148,680 if you're getting 6%.
Click the slide.
286,370. Now, guess what? If you're earning 12% during those 35 years period of time, guess how much you're going to have?
About
Yeah,
600,000.
What you want? You want to guess before he click the slide?
Oh, whoa.
Hey, wait, baby.
That's nice.
1.3 million.
Okay.
That's a lot of money.
All right.
Now, when I saw this slide, and I know you guys use this scripture. Let me see what I wrote it down. It's Matthew 25:14-10 is the talents.
Oh, the talents. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. About the master, he went out of town and he left the servants with
Right.
different amounts of talents, and the one he gave one to, he buried, and the master got mad.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Now, before you guys brought up the prophet, you guys brought up the understanding of the scripture, I said, oh, wow, that's sort of cruel. I mean, at least you got your money back. He didn't spend it, right? That's what I thought, right?
Right.
But then when I looked at this, I said, oh, he said you could at least put it in the bank. I could have got usury for it.
That's right. I could have got interest on that.
Could have got interest on it.
That's right.
So when we keep our money in the bank, so we keep it at home in shoe boxes,
Right.
our money is not making any money.
Right. Right. And that's the key, right? For our money to make money.
Exactly. In about 10 more years, 25, 15 more years, $500,000 gonna be what, $30?
Damn.
Yeah. Gas
So
will be
your
$10.
money got to keep up with inflation.
No, that's heavy stuff. That's heavy stuff.
Okay. Now I'm gonna tie this back to the life insurance because most people don't like to get term and life insurance because they say, hey, at the end of the term, I'm not gonna have any life insurance, right? What's happened to all my money? It's gone. Well, if you become a good steward and you sort of learn these little basic financial steps, instead of letting the insurance company control your money, because most people, when I ask most people who want to be in control, we're like, I want to be in control.
Right.
Well, you get your term life insurance and the savings that you get, you invest the money yourself. And then guess what you don't have to do?
What's
you
that?
don't have to borrow your money.
Right. Yeah, this is great stuff.
Yeah.
This is great stuff. You know, these are the type of things, and again, we keep going back to it, but we gotta have our people. So imagine you age 65, right? You got 1.3, right? But now you're talking about maybe 100,000 65-year-olds in a community with 1.3. I'm just saying, right? Now you're able to do things, right? If y'all want to do something, the community got younger people ready to make moves. You got money to invest, help up and coming entrepreneur, whatever the case may be. But this sets things up. We have to get our community right. I mean, this is only one aspect of investment and how we could build a community, but this is a big thing. Because as an elder, you want to be the one to be able to sit there and have the younger come up and say, well, listen, we're trying to do X, Y, and Z. You'll be able to have a pot of money to grab from, in other words, right? Let's say you got 10 people that did this, and they take 300,000 out of that 1.3 and put it in a pot. Now you got $3 million, right? Now you can make moves. Now you can do a couple of things. You know, these are the things we have to look at as a people.
Right.
You know?
I'm glad you mentioned that because now basically what I'm interpreting is that you have options.
There you go. 100%.
You have options. And so most people don't like to pay premiums on life insurance. I don't either. But I don't know when God is going to take me from this earth.
Right.
But think about it. If you have 1.3 million, or we go back to the previous slide, at age 65, you have over $500,000. You can now make the decision, do I want to continue to pay insurance premium, or can I just set aside $10,000 and they have the money to take care of my funeral?
Right.
So you got options.
Right.
You know, most people want to be in control.
Oh, this is excellent.
Have you found this slide about how to run your household like a business?
I don't think so. I think hey, Ciroc, did we ever get that? No, we didn't get it? Okay. I don't know. I think where you sent the email to, she sent us one part, but maybe she missed that, and we weren't able to get back in contact with her.
Okay,
Yeah.
because that was I wish I could have it up there so you guys can see it, because most men, when I do this one for them, they really love it.
Man.
I'm gonna see if I can explain it to you visually. Hold on, you see me looking this way. I have two monitors on my desk, so I'm just looking for the slide that I did.
Okay.
So I can try to explain it to you. Okay. So typically, there are different levels, okay? When you run your household like a business. We're going to say the first level is going to be your expense. Let's say your expense box, okay? And then you have the second level, which is going to be your savings. The third level is going to be emergency funds. The fourth level is going to be your wealth building. And then the fifth level is going to be your goals and dreams. Now, when you get your paycheck, it's typically deposited into your checking account, and that's where you pay your expenses out, all your bills, right?
Right.
Now, I know they say you should pay yourself first. So let's say, for instance, you have X amount of money coming out of your checking account going into your savings account. And I like to tell people, view your savings account as petty cash. Have either ever one of you ever worked at a retail store? I worked at a grocery store or maybe a clothing store where when you come in, they have a register where you count down to 200 and you open up with 200.
No, I've never, no.
You never, okay. Well, they call that petty cash, okay? So you should view your savings account as petty cash. Now, depending on your, I guess, your income level, you and your wife may sit down and say, hey, you know what? Let's keep anywhere between $500 to $1,000 in our savings account. And the reason being is because you don't make any money on your savings account.
Right.
Okay. But you need it there for little small purchases. And when I sit down with a husband and wife and I make this little joke, I say, okay, this is what you do. Let's say if you do $1,000, or let's say $500 in your checking account. I mean, your savings account. You probably say, okay, honey, your half is 250 and my half is 250. So whatever I decide to buy with mine is what I buy, what you buy with yours. And if you run out your money, don't come to me asking me for no more money until we re-up.
Right.
Okay. Now, your emergency fund. This is where you want to put anywhere between 3 to 6 months or maybe a year of net income. And the reason why I say net income, because we don't live off the gross.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. And this is for emergencies. Let's say you lose your job. Well, you can float for 3 months, 6 months, or a year to pay your expenses without panicking or stressing until you get more income. Find ways to bring income in your household.
Right.
Okay. Now, with the emergency fund, you want to put it in an account that's going to earn you some interest. You may get anywhere between 2 to maybe 4% because you want that to be making some money for you. Now, your wealth building account, this is what you want to call, it has 3 levels to it. A pension. Most jobs don't do pensions anymore. That's when they put money aside for your retirement. Then the next level is what you want to call your 401ks or your 403bs. That's where you and your employer contribute. Okay. Then the next level is your IRAs. That's your individual retirement account. These are your traditional IRAs and your Roth IRAs. Okay. This is what you call your wealth building. Now, were you aware that the government allows, or the IRS allows us to put money away where it grows tax deferred, meaning you don't pay taxes on it every year. And when you pull the money out, you don't pay taxes on it?
No.
Okay, it's called a Roth IRA.
You know what? We're gonna, you know what? Let me, okay, I'll let you finish and then I want to show a quick video about that because there's a brother, he mentioned something about that. Go ahead.
Okay, and then if you have any discretionary income, you can put that in your goals and dreams. So some people want to start a business, they want to plan for a vacation home, or they want to travel the world. So you have different levels. And so what happens is when you don't have these levels, let's say your petty cash and your emergency fund, those are like your buffers. Right. Okay. When you don't have that, that's when you find people pulling money from their 401ks.
Right. It makes sense. We're gonna show something real quick. I'm back.
Okay.
Bring up number 6. It's a video, and he's talking about just this, right? Which you touched on. Number 6, y'all. All right.
My last question is, what are the greatest financial myths we've been taught in the black community?
The greatest financial myth, I think, is that the harder you work, that's going to lead to success.
Right.
And
Pause.
it's like, shout out to...
Pause for a second, because it was a little like a glitch for a second. You ain't got to put me up. You can leave the video up, right? He said one of the greatest financial myths is just work hard and everything will pay off, right? Just keep working hard. Go ahead. Hit play.
My bro, Wall Street Trapper, he said something that was so profound to me. It's like, coming from working class environments, we all know people that work 2 jobs. It's pretty common, right? Yeah. Even 3 jobs, sometimes overnight shifts. And you really think about it, I never met one person that worked 2 jobs that had more money than somebody that worked 1 job.
Right.
I never met one person that worked 2 jobs.
That was heavy what he said. Because generally when you're working 2 jobs, you're not working 2 great jobs. Right. You're trying to make ends meet, right? So you're working very hard is what he's trying to say. Go ahead.
That had money. They still broke. Mm-hmm. And it's like, the reason is because you're trading your time for money, and that's not really how to get money. Mm-hmm. You got to have your money work for you. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's really the greatest myth I think that we've been taught is like, money doesn't grow on trees. You got to work hard. But
that's it. It's
really crazy because it's like, nah, not really. Your money has to work hard for you, because the harder you work for money, you're just going to burn yourself out, and you're still going to be broke at the end of the day. So like, I had a friend of mine, I'll never forget, and he was like, this was like 10 years ago, and he's older than me, but he was like probably 30 at the time. And he was like, I wish I would have been a firefighter. And no disrespect, I love firefighters, or we come from blue class working environments. But the point is, I'm like, why you want to be a firefighter? Like, it's a dangerous job. He's like, just do a quick 30 years, you get your pension, and you retire. And I'm thinking to myself, like, quick 30, that's your life. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's how we taught, like, just work a job just to get a pension. But it's like, it's so crazy.
Hit pause for a second, y'all. Hit pause. Right. So he's saying, the brother said, I wish I was a firefighter. I would have just did a quick 30 years and got my pension, right? So the brother's saying that's 30 years. That's a whole lifetime, right? And you're just waiting for this pension, but there's other ways to make money. This is what he's trying to say. Go ahead, hit play.
If you put $6,000 into a Roth IRA for your child, at
there you go. Hit pause.
Right?
Hit pause. And this is what Angela just brought up about the Roth IRA. He said if you put $6,000 in there for your child, go ahead, hit play.
And let's say it grows 12%. By the time
they go to magic number,
there'll be $1.1 million in it.
There you
so
go.
you could literally make your child a millionaire with $6,000.
Damn.
And now people is literally trading their whole life to get a pension, to retire.
Right.
You can set your child up for $6,000 when they're 14, have 1.1 million. Like, don't even worry about your retirement. It's already there. Focus on what you want to do in life.
Hit play. Hit pause. I'm sorry. You heard that? That was heavy. He said, so this is how we do when we trying to set up our children. He said at 14, and Miss Angela, you could jump in on this after we done. At 14, you throw in the 6,000 in the Roth IRA. Your child already has 1.1. So now his retirement is somewhat already set up. So now he's not thinking about, I got to burn my whole 30 years.
Yeah.
Now he's thinking about, you know what? Let me now really go to school and focus. Maybe I want to really be an engineer. Maybe I want to try my hand at law or whatever. Now he can really go in. He or she can really go in because he's not worrying about that future thing because you set it up as the parent, right?
Hey, that's 1 year of taxes, man.
Yeah,
those numbers make sense.
absolutely.
That's something I would do.
Absolutely. And real quick, Ciroc, Gresha said she sent you the email for what Angela wants, right? And give me Ciroc 33 and 22. And this is what we were talking about before, because Miss Angela was saying, would you rather have control over your own thing, or do you want them to have control over it, right? Watch this.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 22. In all thy works, keep to thyself the preeminence.
Right. In all your works, keep to thyself your preeminence, right? You're going to have power over what? Your money, over your insurance policy, over these things, because what? You chose it out. You know exactly what's going on. You have it. You have the preeminence over it, not your job. So when you go, you only get half of this. You weren't fully vested, so you only get, X amount. Things like that. You're going to have the preeminence. Go ahead.
Leave not a stain in thine honor.
Right, because you're going to think that you really put away all this money, and at the end, you don't have it because you didn't read the fine print. You don't have full control over it, right? But go ahead. Go ahead, sis. Jump in on that.
Yes, I totally agree.
Right.
I totally agree with what you're saying. Like I tell you, I deal with a lot of people, and again, I have to get these young people, especially if they 30 and under. When I tell them about setting up a Roth, they like, and I say, okay, they like the part that the money grows tax deferred. You don't pay taxes on it every year. But this is what get them when I say, okay, but you cannot pull it out until you're 59 and a half, or you're going to have to pay early withdrawal penalty.
Yep.
They're like, what? That long?
Right.
Oh, no. Give me my money now.
See?
Yep,
Right.
my
I
job
said, but
actually
look.
do that. The Roth IR,
Yeah.
what it's called.
Yeah.
They actually do it.
We got to get our minds all the way right. I'm telling you, we have to get our and the brothers, the way they were kicking it, and it just makes sense, right? It makes sense. And I know, and a good amount of our people, they do know these things, but this should be widespread. Again, this should be something that we're not even discussing. We have to make this like a policy amongst our people. When they reach a certain, hey, listen, you're going to sign here, here, and here. This is what you're going to do for your family. Yeah. Just forget about that money right there, that little $200 a month. That's gone. That's here now. Whatever it is, but we got to get our minds right. I thought we had that. I thought we had your the other slides you want, but I think she said
it's attachments. I attached it to the email.
Man,
was she able to?
Yeah, she was trying to find it. I'm texting her right now.
It should be to the email.
It was the same email, right?
Yes, it's the same email.
Okay.
I'm trying to bring it up. Yeah, let's try to bring it up. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's an attachment.
Yep. All right, she's looking again.
Okay. If not, I can just.
Yeah. If not, send it back to her again right now, and then we'll have it.
Okay. Okay. I'll do that.
Yep. In the meantime, and in between time, let me see. Hey, bring up number 8 real quick, y'all. Bring up number 8 real quick. All right. All right, read that, bro.
There is a difference between broke and being there's a difference between broke and being poor.
Right.
Being broke is a temporary economic condition, but being poor is a disabling frame of mind and a depressed condition of your spirit. And you must vow to never, ever be poor again.
Right.
By John Hope Bryant.
Right. So John Hope Bryant, right? I think he runs a nonprofit, I think, called Hope Foundation or something like that, where he discusses about, getting economically well and so on and so forth, right? But this is a heavy thing because being broke, right? Meaning you just don't have money now. But if you have your mindset to do what? To move forward, you have a plan. This is what Miss Angela is talking about, having a plan. Once you get a plan together, you can do what? You can get out of that broke state. But if you allow yourself in poverty to have your spirit broken, then you're no longer going to be able to do anything. You're going to be stuck and not being able to make any moves whatsoever. And this is the thing that we have to get ourselves out there. Hey, bring up number 12. Bring up number 12 real quick. I want to read this. It's about economic well-being. Go ahead.
Economic well-being. There are also racial differences in economic well-being. Survey data on unbanked and underbanked Americans from the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation.
Right, that's the FDIC, right? They're talking about people who are unbanked, meaning what? This is what Ms. Angela was talking about earlier, people putting the money in shoe boxes, right? And putting them in mattresses and so on and so forth, right? Go ahead.
Reveals that the portion of Americans who don't use banking services and thus are deemed unbanked has declined to single digits.
Right. It used to be a lot more in the past, right? But it's still in the single digits, right? Go ahead.
However, it also revealed that American
Indians, right? Go ahead.
And Alaska Native, Black, and Hispanic households.
Israelites, right? The Israelite households. Listen, y'all, every time you see these economic hardships, it's always our people. The so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, the so-called Native American Indians, the Israelites, under the curses, this is always going on, right? Go ahead.
Are more prone to rely on bill payment services,
right?
Money orders, and check cashing services,
right?
Which are often related to financial insecurity and a lack of access to basic bank services.
Right. Go ahead.
Native American communities, in particular, suffer from higher levels of financial fragility and distress than most other racial and ethnic groups. They have roughly the same financial literacy rate as Black and Hispanic populations, which is lower than that of white and Asian American populations.
Right. Okay, so we all in this thing together suffering these same things, right? But we have to get better. We have to get better. Miss Angela, did you send that over?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But I do want to say this. Now, I'm pretty sure we all know that when they pull up their stacks, that we spend $1 trillion or more.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Oh, no, we're the top consumer on planet Earth.
Okay, so that means that we do have money.
Oh, we got plenty.
Okay, so sometimes, I may ask my clients, hey, let me ask you a question. Do you have cable? And most of them have the gold package where they're paying about $100, $200 a month for cable.
The gold package. No, tell them, because I like what you had told me about this. This is funny. Go ahead.
Yeah. So why are you spending that? Would you be willing to get rid of your cable? Most people cell phone plan
Yeah. Yep.
is
yep.
more than a family life insurance policy.
Oh man.
True.
Yeah, this is heavy stuff.
Do
when
you
put it like
actually
it's
need
crazy.
that new iPhone that come out?
Damn.
That's what, $900,000, $1,300.
$1,000 for that phone.
It's crazy. Right. And with the tariffs, since it's being made in China, that phone might go up to like $3,000.
Yeah. I mean, it just, me and my colleagues, sometimes we just sit back and laugh. When concerts come in, a lot of these artists that comes in, they don't announce it anymore. They just come in and within 2 days, tickets sold out.
Right. Right.
So do we really not have any money?
Oh, well, sis, you know what it is? Our people, we were made into consumers. I mean, this was back in about the 50s or 60s. And I wish we had the commercial. There was literally a commercial that the United States set up that was marketed directly to our people for us to become those consumers, selling us on the American dream and so on and so forth. And we went down that road, right? Right now, if we had a GDP just amongst blacks in America only, we ain't talking about worldwide, we just talking about America, we would be the biggest nation. We'd probably be I think the 9th biggest nation on planet Earth.
Damn.
Just based on spending, right? That's pretty sickening.
That's big,
right?
man.
That's big money. Letting you know that we just don't know how to use our money.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're still amongst the most poor, like we brought out here, right? And we ain't even counting all the Israelites. We talking about the Hispanic community. We talking about the Native Americans. With all of that spending power, if we had a little bit more understanding on how to deal with our money and get ourselves out of that, like the brother said, out of that poor mindset, as opposed to being broke, that's different. But that poor mindset, that hopelessness, right? You be able to move forward and do bigger things. But again, we're still in the enemy's land, so it ain't gonna be with so much we're gonna be able to do. And that's not a cop out. I'm just telling you, if we get together and start saying, hey, we put this together, all of a sudden you're gonna find the rules start getting changed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just how it is. That's how it is. But sis, we do have your slides. We have them.
Okay. You
All
got
right?
it now?
Yeah, bring that thing up, please, y'all.
Okay.
There you
That's
go.
the one I was telling you about. Run
That's
your
right.
household like a business.
That's right.
So, I've already spoken on that, but you see the different levels. Your paycheck goes into an account, the expenses is typically your checking account, and you see at the bottom where you get typically 0% interest. So that's why you don't want to keep too much money in those type of accounts, because your money is not making money for you.
Wow.
Okay. Then an emergency fund, you can put it in a money market. Now, most people think money market, you make a whole lot of money. No, you don't. Okay. You probably make anywhere between 0 to maybe 4%, but you got to research and find the account that's going to yield a high interest for you. And then your wealth building, you can make anywhere between 6 to 12%. It could be more, but legally, when you get licensed, you cannot advertise more than 12%. So that's where that magic 12% come in. Okay.
Right. Okay. Right. Right. That's that magic number.
Yeah. Can't advertise more than that. Okay. But you see where I have the pension? That's where employees contribute for you. But a lot of employees are getting away with pensions. They're not doing it anymore. And then you have the 401k and the 403b where you and your employer can contribute. And then you have your wealth building like the IRAs, individual retirement accounts, for traditional and the Roth IRA. And sometimes, like some of my truck drivers that's on the road, they get 1099, they self-employed.
Oh, yeah.
And I asked them, I say, hey, do you have a traditional IRA? Do you have a SEP IRA? Did you know that you can put money away for yourself and write it off on your taxes?
It's crazy.
You can do that.
See, this is what it is.
Definitely didn't know that.
Right.
Okay. And then if you have any extra money, goals and dreams, start a business, vacation home. And they're where you're planning everything out. Okay. So if you go to the next slide, it should have the F&A. You should see one that says the F&A. I'm going to show you something. Once you get your numbers, then all you do is plug it into this diagram.
Just bring up that next one, y'all.
And I love doing plans. I do. I love doing plans. I really do. Because sometimes my clients say, hey, you know what? I want to invest. And I say, okay, well, I have to ask them, of course, what are your goals? What's your plans for this account? What's the purpose for it? And sometimes it takes them back because no one ever asked them those questions.
Hey sis, listen, I got a couple of people just text my phone and said they already made some they made appointments with you.
Okay.
Yeah, you haven't met them yet, but
You will.
yeah.
Okay. So do you see the cash flow?
Oh yeah.
You got John and Jane, okay? Their income, and you see now everybody want a slice of their pie, right?
Oh yeah.
Now let's see how much you actually gain of your pie. So if you look at it, they got a total income coming in of $7,000. You see the monthly expenses.
Mm-hmm.
If you look down, like 9% is going towards insurance premiums. They get 1%
right.
is going towards savings.
Right.
Okay, for debt, 22%. Taxes, Uncle Sam gonna get theirs. I think that's 26%. And then living expenses.
Right.
But look, at the end of the month, they have a surplus. They got $1,415 left.
Right. The shortfall.
The short.
No, it's in the green. So that's extra money.
Oh, right. That's the surplus. Shortfall is when you're okay. That's
Yes,
like a liability.
they got extra
Okay.
money.
Yep.
And so sometimes I ask my clients, I said, do you realize that you got this much money left over? They're like, no, I don't know where that money is. I'm like, well, you need to find it.
It's in a
And
Netflix
then they
account.
tell me when I come back to them, I say, well, where's the money? They say, oh, we eating it up. They at the
Oh.
restaurants.
Mm-hmm. Fast
Right.
food.
Netflix.
Yep.
Now, if you scroll up, your net worth. I know when you fill out financial forms, they say, what's your net worth? And a lot of us just guess. Okay. But your net worth is if you sell everything of value and you pay off your liabilities, your debt, will you be a check or a debit? So if you look here, their assets, they have about what's that, about $180,000.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, their liabilities, $178,000. So if you subtract
Wow.
their liabilities from their assets,
Yeah.
you see their net worth is $1,100.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Now some people might say, well, that's not a lot. Well, it just depends on what stage you are in your life. If you're a young family, you're accumulating. It's
Right.
gonna take you a while to accumulate.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, scroll up a little bit for savings for retirement. Now, I can ask people 3 questions about their retirement. One of them they're not going to know. I can ask them, what age you want to retire? If they're under 30, they're going to say 45. Okay?
Right.
That's just what I get
No,
with
that's
them. They
real.
don't-
That's
They're
real.
going to say 45, okay? Then I can ask them, how much money do you need coming in on a monthly basis? And I say, hold on, let me explain what I mean by retirement. Retirement means that if your feet don't hit the carpet or the hardwood floor, you know you got X amount of money coming in on a monthly basis.
Mm-hmm.
And they may say, oh, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. I say, okay, well, how much you need to put away right now to make that happen? And they can't tell me.
Right. Right.
Okay. But this plan right here help you determine how much money you need to put away for retirement.
Wow.
Now, I'm going to say this, but most women can relate to this. Me and y'all probably don't know, laugh about it. But, in the world, before you get married, women would ask and pray for a husband. They say, oh, Lord, please send me a husband, right? And then it came out and said, well, no, you need to be specific what you asked for, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, what if someone comes to you or you have a good friend or you know someone, and let's say this man is filthy rich and he's on his dying bed and he just want to make it right before he leaves. He said, hey, you know what? I want to bless you, young man. Tell me how much I need to write this check for. Give me a number and I'll write the check for you.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell him?
How much you got?
How much you got? Okay. Now, the reason why I asked this question is most people don't know what their financial independence number is.
Right, right.
Okay. This couple, their financial independence number is $2,945,397. Okay. It's a little small for me, so hopefully I'm saying the numbers correctly.
Right. No, that's it.
Okay. Now I joke with this, especially with the, clients in the world, you know. I say, now when you sit down and you pray and you and your husband pray, you know, what's the scripture say? When there's two or more in agreement, the Lord is in the midst.
Yeah, with two or more gathered, the Lord is in the midst. Yeah.
Okay, so guess what? You know your financial number. Okay, now to make this happen, I got some clients that say, you know what? I'm afraid to invest. I'm afraid of the market. Okay, well, guess what? That means that if you look at the top where it says savings, that one. That means that you're pretty scary. Okay, you're very conservative.
Right.
If you want to retire at age 67, that means you got to put away $4,541.
Okay, so when you're saying that, you talking about yearly?
Monthly.
Monthly, you got to be able to tuck away $4,000 a month. Okay.
So they can hit their retirement number.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you say I want to be in the middle, I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna be in the middle. Then that means you need to put away $2,000. I think that's what, $749.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you say, hey, you know what? I could be a little bit more aggressive. You know, I can do that. Then you only have to put away $1,600 and I think is it $600 or $514?
Yep.
Okay. So see, you got to find out what type of investor you are.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you push it out to age 72, if you look down, you don't have to put away a lot more money.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, you see where it says the debt solution. Okay. It'll let you know where you stand when you have your debt paid off, let you know what your debt to income ratio is, especially for people that's trying to get a house.
Right.
Okay, if you scroll down a little bit more, and these are just some sample pages. I didn't put all the pages in there. Okay, I didn't include all the pages in there. If you go up a little bit more, scroll down. I mean, you were going right. I'm sorry, I didn't right direction. Go to the direction that you were going to the next page. Then this is the budget worksheet.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Now you already heard this, but I'm asking other guys on the panel. If you want to tell your money what to do, what is it called? Do you want to tell your money what to do?
What's the word called? I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's like a little financial thing. It's called a budget.
Oh, okay.
If you want to tell your money what to do. Okay. So I also do a budget worksheet. And I sit down with couples that have been married 5 years, 10 years, 13 years. And you know, they never sat down and did a budget together.
Oh, yeah. That's a real thing. They're like, you take care of the phone bill. I take care of the lights. You give me half on the rent. And we good. And then they hiding their money from each other for the rest of the month.
Oh, I got a joke for you guys. I got a joke for you. When I first got my license and I went in and I sat down with a couple, okay? And it was me and my colleague, a husband and wife, and we was asking questions together for the for the F&A, right? And so we got to the savings. So we said, well, how much you got saved? And the husband was like, well, I don't have nothing. And so the wife said, and he's like, well, how much? Well, how much? $10,000.
Man.
The husband banged his fist on the table and said, Negro, what?
Yeah.
She had $10,000 saved. And he said, y'all get out my house, he put us out.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's funny because my mother told me a story like that. She has, my father, this is early times, she's not working. He's working. So he's coming home, giving her money, so on and so forth. So then they wanted to do something. And he said, we don't have it right now. So then she comes and pulls out a bank book. That was back then, had the bank book. And she had thousands of dollars. And he said, yo, what man you got giving you money? She said, that's your money. That's what you've been giving me all this time. I've been saving it. And he was like, all right, well, let me get it.
Yeah.
But that's how man minds work. All of a sudden, the woman got money. He like, what? Get the hell up out of here. Somebody lying. Somebody ain't right. So I know how that go. Yeah.
Yes. It was, it was so crazy. That's when I first got my license and everything.
Yeah.
And he actually put us out. I mean, we came back. And as we was leaving their home, we heard them arguing. He was mad.
Hell yeah, he was mad. He said, what else y'all hiding?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes. But that's the plan that I do. And so normally after I do the plan and I come back with them, And it never fails. Okay. I don't have to tell them what to do with the money, especially man. He'll step up. He said, no, sis, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this amount of money for the emergency fund. We're gonna put this amount in there. He go ahead and tell me everything because he sees his numbers.
Right.
You can easily plan.
Right. Right. No, that's great stuff, sis. That's excellent stuff. You did okay. I think it was one more thing I wanted to ask you about. And I know you mentioned you didn't. I don't think you mentioned it tonight, but well, we kind of went over it, like rate of return. That's what we were just kind of going over, right?
Yes.
Right.
The rate of return deals with the market, and I know a lot of people are scared of the market right now because the market is, down, and the market moves on emotions and uncertainty.
And Trump.
Yep. They don't know, companies don't know what he's going to do with the tariffs, and he keep going back and forth. So they can't really plan.
Right.
But this is what I want people to understand. The stock market is a what market? You got a supermarket, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got Walmart, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got flea market, right? All right. So when you go to those places, you want to buy the max for the least, right?
That's right.
Okay. Now, the market is going down. So the market is on sale. So you can buy the max for the least.
Right.
It is on sale right now.
Right. Right.
Okay. So you can buy more. Because if the market keeps going up, like if prices keep going up, we in there inflation, people are just hurting. While these prices keep going up, when they're gonna go down, right?
Right.
Okay. So you got to think about the market. When the market goes down, it's on sale.
Right. Right. But we even got to be in position to even do something, right? So we have to have that economic and that financial wellness from the beginning. So we're even able to recognize that, or even in the market ourselves, right? Because a lot of us not even in the market. We don't even know what's going on. We see the news. We don't care. The market's up, down. We're like, yeah, whatever. We don't give a damn what's going on, right? But we have to get our mindset to seeing these things and being able to react to them,
But we should, because think about it like this. What's the main reason why companies go into business? What's their number one
make money.
rule or goal? Make money, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to make sure they're making money. Now, if we are participating in it and we are shareholders, then we get to benefit from that.
Right.
Because they're going to do, unfortunately, we don't like some of the stuff they're going to do, but they're going to raise their prices.
Right.
They're going to lay people off, because the bottom line is that they have to perform for their shareholders.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So let's think about if you buy shares in Amazon. And I know you men probably know that packages be coming into the house or sneaking the house.
There you go. See, there you go. Hey, listen, I told that story. I worked with some women, and one day they was talking. They was like, "Oh man, I gotta hurry up and get home." I'd heard that a couple times, and then I was like, "What you gotta hurry up and get home about?" "Oh no, because I ordered from Amazon. I want my husband to see the packages." Because they spinning bread left, right, and center. Shoes is coming up in there. They started having the shoes getting delivered to the office. That's how bad it got. Because they want their husband to see what the hell was going on. But go ahead, sis.
Okay, so we still shopping. There's certain industries that we're going to buy from, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, how come we're not participating in it?
Right.
Why we got to be the consumer all the time? Why can't we participate too?
Well, this is where we have to really do a good job. Now we have to change, right? And start training up our kids, right? The scripture talk about train up a child the way they should go, right? And now we got to train them up differently. We got to give them that financial stability, the understanding of money. Instead of just being afraid to talk about it and discuss it, we got to really have an understanding on how to deal with it, and that's how we're going to come out of that consumer spirit,
when your kids get a job.
Huh?
When your kids get a job, when they start working at fast food restaurants, Chick-fil-A, well, they're working.
Right.
You can just say, hey, give me $50 a month, give me $200 a month, and put it in an investment account for them.
That's true too, right? And even if you want to start showing them like that budget sheet you have, we got a brother here, he's been in banking for a long time, and he showed us that budget sheet, and he'll call it like a shortfall and a windfall, right? He would call it windfall as opposed to surplus, right?
Mhm.
So that's how he does it, so we could kind of pick up on it, right? Windfall is, oh, you in surplus. Shortfall is, oh yeah, you in the red, right? Right, you in the
Yeah.
red. So, but again, we're learning slowly but surely. But if we, and we need to know it, but if we could catch them from young and start building them to where it's like nothing, but we're gonna get there. Lord's will, we're gonna get there.
Yeah. And what I learned about kids is that if I sit down and show the kids the rule of 72, they ready.
Oh,
They're like, go ahead. How can I do it now? They don't even care about hearing the presentation. They just like, I want to do it now.
Yeah. Because
that's one thing I love about the kids. They will do it now.
Right. Because a kid understood. Remember, they used to have paper routes a long time ago, right? And selling stuff. A kid understood. He would go, he would get his papers for X amount. And he would get his money. He understood that early. A lot of matter of fact, a lot of successful people, they had paper routes when they were young, when papers were still out, right? When newspapers were still out. Kids don't know nothing about that right now. But a lot of those guys who were doing the paper route, they understood money. They did well in business because they understood, okay, I got the papers for this much. Now I got this. Okay, I put this aside. I went back and bought another batch. Things like that start to get your mind right. But obviously we need to step up and get more familiar with the more complex, understandings on how to make money within life insurance and even, and so forth,
Yes.
Hey,
I try to keep it simple.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think this was very simple. It was nothing too hard.
Yeah.
Right? It was pretty easy. Sis, I gotta say, we're running short on time. I just want to thank you for coming on, right? And being gracious with your time and your knowledge. All right. And do you have a slide or something with your information that we can reach you?
That's the one thing I forgot to put.
Remember I told you, I said make sure you come with something so we can put that up there.
I apologize.
All right. But go ahead. At least say it, and let the people know where to find you,
Okay, well, I can be reached at my contact number is 229-443-3203.
Okay, say that again.
229-443-3203.
Okay, and that's Angela Willis.
Yes, that's Angela Willis.
Yep.
And you can email me at financial.services@myyahoo.com.
Okay, say it again one more time.
financial.services@myyahoo.com.
Angela, you still using the Yahoo?
I got so many emails account. I just said,
right. Right. All praises. Well, Angela, I got to thank you for coming on.
Yes.
It was great. These are things that we should know, but you're still opening our eyes, even though we know life insurance. But now we got to go look at the life insurance agent. Like, did you really show me this again? You know what I mean? We got to really get down to the bottom of this. But all praises. All praises.
They make the most money off of selling whole life. You wouldn't be, how much money they make off selling that, man. It'll take your head will roll.
No, I saw some numbers. Yeah, because of the brother in here. We saw some numbers. We're like, oh, damn, it's like that? You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be a life insurance agent.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So yes, sis. So Lord's will, maybe we can have you back at some time, maybe later in the year, and we'll go into it a little bit deeper if you have. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was like something I wanted to show you.
Okay.
See the one. I'll make it really quick. It says textbook.
Hey y'all, do you have the one that says textbook? Bring that up real quick. Textbook.
Okay.
All right.
This is something that I made a copy because when I would talk to our people about the life insurance, especially the whole life, because they so gun-ho on that, and they looked at me like I had 3 heads on my shoulder. I want you to go down to the next page. Okay, stop. I don't know if you can blow it up because it's real small. Do you see at the top where it says Series 65 Uniform Investment Advisor Law Exam?
Yes.
10th
Yes.
edition. These are the books that we use to study to take these tests. Okay. Now, if you go up above it, okay, right there, you see where it says policy loans?
Right.
Can you blow that up? And I want one of you brothers, can you read that for me?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay.
It says, when you borrow cash value from your life insurance policy, the funds received are non-taxable. This is the same as any other borrowed money. It isn't your money and must be paid back at some time in the future. Note that if you never pay it back, the amount of the loan will be deducted from the death benefit.
Damn.
The insurance company will finally get back the money.
See? That's crazy.
Now, you see that?
Yep.
That's a play on words.
That's right.
Why is it not your money? The insurance company not adding anything to your premium. Is your premium used to fund that cash value? But I just wanted to show that because most people don't, they're like, oh, she's just talking because you don't like whole life. But I said, let me make a copy of that. These are the books that I have to study for to get my license.
When you borrow cash value from your life insurance policy, the funds received are non-taxable. Keep that up, y'all. Keep that up.
Which is true. Go ahead.
Keep that up, right? This is the same as any other borrowed money. It isn't your money and must be paid back at some time in the future. Wow. So basically they're stealing. Is this what we're seeing?
Well, they have a license to do that. So you can't steal.
A license to steal. This is beautiful. You can't make it up.
Yeah, that's
you
real.
can't make it up. Hey, look at this real quick. Go to let me see where I want. What I want. Is that 27? Let me see. Yeah, go to Sirach 27. (27:2).
Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 27 and verse 2. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stone.
Right, as a nail sticketh fast between two stones. Go ahead.
So doth sin stick close between buying and selling.
So does sin stick close between buying and selling. Right? When there's business, a lot of times there's some sin involved. Here it is. We getting sold an insurance policy. We're feeling good about it. Something was sold, we bought it, but at the end of the day, we're being robbed. Right? Because in that balance of business, there's always something in the middle there we got to pay attention. That's why you talked about reading, right? You got to read what it is that you're doing. You got to have understanding because there's always something. They used to say the devil in the details. They're getting that from right there. That's exactly what that's saying. There's a devil, there's some sin in between buying and selling in business. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure I put that out because sometimes
thank you. I appreciate that.
They gun hole in their whole life, and then I tell people to each his own, okay? But that is a better way to do it.
Right. Sis, this was great. We appreciate you. All praise. Hopefully a lot of people contact you because we need some help. We need help. All right. So with that, we're going to say shalom to you. Thanks for coming on. We know it's late over there on the East Coast. All right. So hopefully you get some good rest and you wake up tomorrow and get some good business.
Shalom, and I enjoyed being on here. Thank you guys.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So
All right. Hey,
man,
all praise. Was excellent.
That was one of them just be quiet and listen classes. I couldn't even say nothing. I was too busy interested in what she was saying.
Yeah,
Man,
it put you in that right mindset.
Yeah.
To change.
Oh yeah, we got to get right. And that's the whole thing. Like we were discussing with just now. Even in business, that's why we got to pay attention, right? Like that's a sister right there. She got a good moral standing, right? So she gonna come now and explain every little thing to you. But the things that we learn, we got to pay close attention to what we're signing.
Yeah,
we have to understand what's actually going on because there's some, like they say in the world, devil in the details. But the scriptures say it's a sin. There's some sin in there, right? We got to understand what we got going on,
Right. And I know a lot of our problem. If you're anything like me. We fit a curse in Deuteronomy 28 and verse 65. I want you to read that real quick. That's why a lot of us don't get life insurance and don't think about retirement and all that. It's part of our curse. Watch this.
Right.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 65.
Come on.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
The nations that we scattered amongst, not going to be easy for blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Read.
Right.
Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest.
We're always going to have to go get it. We're always going to have to move. We're not going to be able to retire good. Read on.
But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart.
Because first and foremost, we always going to be scared. We always scared, read.
And failing of eyes.
Understanding is low, read.
And sorrow of mind.
High stress, read on.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
Uh-huh.
And thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life.
I'm not sure if I'm even going to live to 55. So if I don't have no assurance, I'm not buying no insurance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we got to, but the Bible teaches to be prudent on the flip side, though. So prudent means to look well to your future. So the Bible is the cure to all these curses. You know, the kingdom, it come not by observation. So it's something we have to do to, make moves, make changes.
Right, absolutely. And when it comes to making those type of investments, remember the forefather Joseph, that's what he did. That's how he wound up becoming the number 2 in Egypt, right?
Exactly.
Because the Lord gave him a dream and he understood, okay, we gotta put away some stuff for later. Right? Let's get that real quick. We ain't gonna read the whole thing, but just enough. Genesis 41. All right.
Genesis chapter 41 and which verse?
41 and starting 46.
Verse 46.
Go ahead.
Come on.
And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt.
Right, go ahead.
And in the 7 plenteous years, the earth brought forth by handfuls.
Go ahead.
And he gathered up all the food of the 7 years.
Right, so he had 7 years of plenteous. So Joseph went throughout all Egypt. Right. So now when he said that he went throughout, meaning he got all the workers, everybody's ready to do what? Take all the food that's coming up all these plenteous years. Go ahead.
And laid up the food in the cities.
Right.
The food of the field, which was round about every city, laid he up in the same.
Right. So those fields of food by those particular cities, he made sure he laid it up for that particular city. The field that was next to that other city, he did that as well. So all of the cities had food there for them, right? Go ahead.
And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea.
Go ahead.
Very much until he left numbering, for it was without number.
Right.
And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar's priest of On, bare unto him.
Go ahead.
And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh.
Right. The name of the firstborn was called Manasseh. He's the father of the Cubans. Go ahead.
For God said, He hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house.
Go ahead.
And the name of the second called he Ephraim.
Ephraim, who's who? He's the father of the so-called Puerto Ricans. Go ahead.
For God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction.
Go ahead.
And the 7 years of plenteous that were in the land of Egypt were ended.
Right. So they were now going into a famine time. But guess what? Joseph had put away, he put away all that food for just this time right here.
Right.
Right? Go ahead.
And the 7 years of dearth, began to come.
Go ahead.
According as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands. But in all the lands of Egypt there was bread.
Right. But in all the land of Egypt there was bread. Right? Because Joseph made sure to do what? Put away the corn. And with that corn, you making everything out of that. Cornbread. Oh, damn. They was making cornbread. They had fried chicken.
They had corn on the fish, cornmeal, corn on the job.
Right? But all different types of crops he was storing away.
Right.
So they had that. They were ready. Right? So this is what we were talking about tonight with the sister, financial planning. Right? That's where it comes from. We have to put away now so we can have something later. Right? Go ahead.
That's right.
And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread.
Right.
And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph. What he saith to you, do.
Right. He said, go ahead. Go talk to Joseph. Wherever he tell you to go and do that. Go ahead.
And the famine was over all the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians.
He didn't give it to him. He said sold.
Right.
He said, yo, Egypt was still getting money. Because what? They had a municipality. We got to say what it is. Because they had an infrastructure. They had a municipality that they was running.
Yeah.
Right? So the people were dependent on the government to handle business. And because of Joseph, he handled that business correctly, and the people were able to survive. Go ahead.
And the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt.
Uh-huh.
And all the countries came into Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all lands.
So all the surrounding countries even came to Egypt. That's how much food they had. To survive 7 years, not only the Egyptians, but the other countries came. But this is what it is, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We have to bring that out to y'all to let y'all know moving forward, this is how we got to deal with each other, right?
Yep.
Deal with our families. And one family build upon another family, right? Like we were saying before, that 1.3 million that could be achieved at 65 years old for the younger brothers and so on and so forth. You got 10 brothers doing that, and they take 300,000 off of each, and we got a pot of $3 million. Now they could fund something with some other youngsters, or buy this and buy that. It's a lot to do, but we have to get our minds doing what? The Lord said we got to gather ourselves together. We have to have one mind. We have to have one mind. If we don't have that one mind, we're just going to stay scattered all the time. And we're not trying to say, hey, we're going to build a great nation amongst them. No, but we're just going to take care of ourselves, like Jeremiah said, buy ye houses, take, and build and so on and so forth until Christ return. All right? Yeah. Don't get that defeatist attitude like, oh yeah, Christ coming back, so what's the sense of doing that? No, the Lord said when I come back, everything gonna be, people gonna be getting married. Yeah. People gonna be doing this. So you still gotta be handling your business when Christ return, So yeah, I don't know if y'all got something.
Yeah, and while you handling that business, right? You gotta handle it without pride. You gotta handle it without that it's me mindset. It's me and only me, that crab in the barrel mindset. Give me Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 8. Proverbs 30 and verse 8 and 9.
Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 8.
Come on.
Remove far from me vanity and lies.
And that's what we got to stay away from. We got to stay from vanity and lie. You got to abstain from that thing, because what's that's going to build? That sin in between the business like you was talking about, that's that vanity and lies that we got to stay away from, because it's going to eventually pull us down. Go ahead.
Give me neither poverty nor riches.
Come on.
Feed me with food convenient for me.
Why?
Lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord?
Who is the Lord? Who is my brother? Who is my sister? I got all I need. Go ahead.
Or lest I be poor,
lest I come down to a low estate
and steal, and take the name of my God in vain.
Right. Just what we doing now.
Right.
That's just what we doing now as a people. Right. Why? Because we don't have no balance between the two. It's either you getting the money and you forgetting about God and all your brothers and sisters, or you don't have and you go and steal. That's why we got to be on that one mind, one accord, and getting that money together.
Right.
And not just getting it, but sharing it amongst each other. Give me Acts 4 right quick.
Yeah.
4 and 32.
It's the book of Acts.
When you get the money, this is what we ought to do with it when we on one mind and one accord.
Acts chapter 4, verse 32.
Come on.
And the multitude of them that believed
in
one
what?
Heart.
Believed in the Lord. Believed in our culture, our nationality, the structure that the Lord built for us. Come on.
Were of one heart and of one soul.
They were of one mind. They all thought alike. Come on.
Neither said any of them that aught of the things which he possessed was his own.
It wasn't his own. So what were we doing? We was doing this for our nation, doing it for each other, doing it for our children. Come on.
But they had all things in common.
But we had all things in common. That's that 10 brothers with put the 300,000 in, and you got 3 million. Right. All of that money was theirs for their children that they split amongst each other so we could get ahead. But if we don't have that type of mindset and we moving as crabs in the barrels, this will never work. That's why you have to come back to who we are. If 5 different people saying they 5 different nationalities, we ain't got $3 million. He got 300,000.
Yeah, period.
Right.
Yeah, we'll never get it right. We'll never get it right. And one more before we tune out. Go back to Sirach 33, right? There's one more, the next verse. We're going to read 22 again, but we're going to read 23. This is good stuff right here. Go ahead.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 22.
Go ahead.
Come on. In all thy works, keep to thyself the preeminence.
Go ahead.
Leave not a stain in thine honor.
Go ahead.
And at times.
Nope.
And At the times when thou shalt
Nope.
at the verse 23. At the time when thou shalt end thy days.
At the time when thou shalt end thy days, go ahead.
And finish thy life.
And you're dead.
Distribute thine inheritance.
Distribute thine inheritance. Right? That's talked about planning. Everything is going to be planned out. So by the time you gone, somebody going to pick up that paper and say, oh, yeah, 20,000 to child number 1, 15,000 to child number 2, 0 for child number 3 because you the devil, and so on and so forth, right? But that's how we got to roll, brothers and sisters. It's never too late, right, to get that done. So I don't give a damn how old you are. You didn't know this stuff, so now you know it. Let's get it together. The ones who are young, y'all start early and make it happen, right? Yeah. So with that, you know what I mean? The Booster Club.
That's
right.
right.
Hey, y'all, hit that QR code. All right, send that money in for the Booster Club, the Isaiah 11:11 project. You know what I mean? We got the brothers going all over the world. Y'all been watching the videos. We doing some great works out there. Help us to keep doing this. All right. Those of you who can't be on that front line, that your money goes a very long way. So all praise to the Most High. Donate, donate, donate. All right. Go to that next one.
Next one.
Come on, y'all.
Next one.
Slow motion.
Next one. What's
one.
wrong with y'all?
They crazy as hell back there.
Yeah.
Next one.
Yes, we got to start singing songs now. Keep the people entertained. You'll never find.
Blum, 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 blum.
All right. So yeah, hey, listen, y'all. Like, share, comment. All right. Y'all brothers and sisters who's online now, hey, share the link, like, comment on other people's comments. If y'all want to talk trash, we don't care. Just leave some comments for us, all right? The Nehemiah Squad, all right, while we streaming, okay? That's on Instagram, right? But y'all can also do it on YouTube as well, all right? And I think Instagram, we stream it for like the first hour, then it breaks off, and then you know. But the point is, hey, leave some comments.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Break the algorithm.
Right. The algorithm.
Yeah. Or we got to lay hands on you.
Okay. So next week, y'all, this one is called Faith Forward, Black and Brown Healing in Motion, right? And we're going to be here with Reverend Dr. Jeffrey M. Parker, Sr. From Oakland. And, you know, we're going to have some doctrine talk. Y'all know that. You know what I'm saying? And the Reverend going to come in here. We're going to discuss getting together regardless of, you know, he's a pastor over the Christian church, but he knows, you know, the work we putting in. So we're going to definitely talk about what we could do to help the community. You know what I'm saying? And obviously we're going to talk about them laws and we're going to talk a little doctrine. So I think y'all going to love it. You know what I'm saying? Generally, when we have pastors on the show or any Christians or people of a different faith, you already know it's going to be a great, great show. Right. All right. So make sure y'all tune into that. That's going to be Monday, April 21. All right. 8:30 Pacific time. All right. And I think that's all we got on that. So Officer Shem, take us out, bro.
Yeah, man, you already know what time.
Wait a minute. Hold on, man. Where's our donation?
Yeah.
Yo, disrespectful.
Yo, I thought that was the next one when we was calling for next one.
Yeah, bro. Hey, listen, man. We broke. We ain't poor, bro. We trying to get up out of the broke state.
Trying to keep us poor.
Yeah, they trying to keep us poor, bro. We just broke. We trying to build. Come on. These guys is wild in here, man. Let us get a couple of pennies, bro. I bet you they ain't even got it. I bet you they ain't got it in the chamber.
Downloaded.
No, man. They
These
downloaded,
nut
man. They
jobs.
crazy, man.
What
you know
is
what's
wrong
going
with
on.
these guys, man? Yeah. We got the like, share, subscribe, and they're like, okay, let's just get rid of that now.
Yeah, bro. I thought that was the next one. The whole time we was yelling next one.
Yo, we can't make this up. Hey, y'all, this is what we dealing with, brothers
Yeah.
and sisters
So
out there.
we need y'all donations,
Right.
So we can hire a new IT team.
Right. Yeah.
How aggressive do y'all want to
Yo,
invest? Which package do we want to get?
Yo, we want the gold package.
Yeah.
We want the gold package. Hey, all right. So they ain't got it, but y'all. Hey, listen, y'all hold, donate to the Booster Club, save a few dollars for us. We catch y'all next week on that.
Yeah.
But go ahead, officer.
Somebody tear down our IT team and build us a new IT team because they kind of suck. Read it.
This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, verse 21. Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall?
Yo.
If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you.
Yo, if you do this thing again, we gotta lay hands on you, right? If you don't save up something for your kids, we gotta lay hands on you. If you don't donate to the Booster Club, we gotta lay hands on you. And if IT don't have our thumbnail next week, we gotta lay hands on them. Hey, this is the Nehemiah Squad.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We are your hosts. I'm Officer Shim. That's Captain Sakai. That's Officer Judah. And we out.
Yes, sir. Most High Christ bless y'all. Shalom, shalom.
All right. Yeah.
Even the evil, spend holy days away from the heathen. I need a break, I don't need a reason. I need a script, I don't need your grievance. Keep it to yourself, it's better for my health. Leave it on the shelf, ain't hearing nothing else. Tonight and tonight, knowing the price. Pay it off with my life, till it's out with your lights. Do it all for the Christ, and he ain't playing nice. Knew the end from the start. Fix your face like it's art. The sons of a simp, call him Bart. Yeah, you did your best, played your part. But now it's time to cut you to the heart. Flex on occasion. It's the strangeness of the salvation. You see it, believe it, amazing. Them chariots coming invasion since the creation. War, mine, Lord, bless the general. Greatest nation, eat them unequivocal. Bombs dropping, buddy, cause it's biblical. Start shit, now it's time to finish. Whoa. Said he won't vote, we looking for smoke. So, we give him some more. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world.
I can't wait for our kingdom to start and for there to be finished. Get rid of all of their idols and lying religions. Look for the crown like an Edris. Hey, this that crown talk. Wisdom of Solomon 5 talk. This that second Edris 6 and 9. We want eyes talk. It's your time to end and my time again. It's our time to win. Away with the sin. You know what it is. Rejoice with my kin. See that is why we repented. Go to streets, I can see myself in it. The city is bright, the kingdom of light. A wonderful sight past the angels, the inner light. I need 1,000 years of labor. Sit on my throne with my savior. Try to know wine, press alone. He bring pain like major. You think the nations is equal to us? TK Kirkland, who raised you? Flex on occasion, my God a racist. That's why we moving with patience. It's been a long time coming. I spent my whole life running. Now that I'm 10 toes down and established my faith on 100. Woe to the nations, my king will race them. You know they gotta be punished. Jeremiah 25, yeah, you know they gon' fry. Whoa.